Good morning, everybody. Welcome back there. And someone Scott Selections here for Friday, February 4th. Before getting today's play of the day, a quick recap of what yes, we've been having a loss in college basketball with UNC Wilmington -1 at -110 on Fox Bet. They were tied at the half, and then the wheels fell off in the second half as Elon ended up killing them, and Wilmington lost by double digits. They had won 12 in a row. They covered an 11 in a row, but unfortunately, both streaks ended as we picked up a loss there. I'm aware that it's been a bit of a rough patch for us recently. It happens, and we'll look to get back on track here on Friday. And for the play today, we're going to go back to the NBA, looking at a matchup between the Hawks and the Raptors, taking place at around 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this one, we're going with the road team. We like the Hawks plus 1.5 at -105 on BetMGM. Time recording of 6:40 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like the Hawks in this spot. First of all, this is a brutal scheduling spot for Toronto. We know yesterday they beat Chicago. Game went to overtime, so you're assuming the starters should be gassed. You don't even know the half of it because with 5 games in 7 nights, Toronto has barely used their bench whatsoever, not to mention the several overtime games involved in that stretch. But to go through the previous 4 games, so they had 4 games in 6 nights, including yesterday. Siakam during that span is averaging 44.5 minutes per game. Anunoby is averaging 42.5 minutes per game. Barnes is averaging 42.75 minutes per game. Van Vliet's averaging 43.25 minutes per game. And Gary Trent Jr. is averaging 44.5 minutes per game. Translation, the entire Toronto team should be absolutely gassed. And there should be a decent, I'd say, chance that Toronto rests some guys because they were supposed to have a day off yesterday. However, they had to reschedule one of the games earlier against Chicago because they had a COVID outbreak earlier in the year. As a result, you had yesterday's game. So Toronto lost a day off, and they managed to win the game yesterday. But now they face off at home against an Atlanta team that's been playing really well lately. The Hawks, we know, beat the Suns yesterday, snapped their winning streak. I believe Young had 43 points, I want to say. It was definitely 40+. But the Hawks are 8-1 straight up and ATS into their last 9 games. And it's also worth mentioning that the one game they did not win and cover during that stretch was against Toronto on January 31st. The Raptors won that game by 6 points. However, Trae Young did not play in that contest, which tells me that Atlanta, despite missing its best player, actually hung around against this Toronto team. They were actually winning for a decent portion of this game. They got killed in the third quarter. But the fact that Atlanta was able to battle with one of their best players missing while Toronto used all 5 starters tells me that this team should look pretty sharp against Toronto with Young back in the lineup. I know that he was battling a shoulder issue. He had 43 points yesterday. I'm assuming he's going to play. I know John Collins is questionable because he suffered his own shoulder issue. But the Raptors, at the end of the day, it seems like a great spot for Nurse to actually rest his guys because of the fact that they've played 4 games in 6 nights, about to be 5 and 7. And you're looking at a spot where after an overtime game yesterday, the players got to be running on fumes, and Atlanta's been one of the hottest teams in the league. So I do think that Atlanta's very live to win this game. It should be very close, but I'm actually going to take the 1.5 points because Toronto's gone to overtime twice in the last week and change. So it might come down to the wire, might be a nail biter. I'll take the 1.5 points. The play that once again, here for Friday, February 4th is going to be on the Hawks, plus 1.5 at -105 on BetMGM. Bye, everyone.